All right, so let's dive into something a little bit different today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about something that, hopefully never happens to you, but it's good to be prepared for. And that is surviving a critical illness.
That's right.
And of course, we want to survive,
Yes.
but we also want to be prepared for the financial fallout.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the cost of survival, the cost of those treatments,
Right.
could be astronomical. And we have some research here that's really, really eye-opening. And to kind of just kick it off, I wanted to share John's story.
Okay.
John survived a heart attack, which is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
But then he got slammed with a $60,000 bill
wow.
after the fact.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
It is.
So, it's one of those things like, you want to survive these things, but you also want to be prepared.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that, as we deep dive into this, what are some of the things that we're going to learn today about how to sort of plan for this unexpected, possibility?
Sure. Yeah. So, as you mentioned, modern medicine has advanced so much that we can now survive things that, years ago would have been fatal. Cancer, heart attacks, strokes, things like that. We're now able to survive those things. But as you also pointed out, the treatments can be, extremely expensive and really, really financially devastating.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found really surprising, going into this research was that up to 60% of the costs associated with a critical illness may not be covered by your standard health insurance.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
Yeah.
60% seems like a huge gap.
It is.
So, I mean, where's that coming from?
Well, I think there are a few reasons for this. One is that, treatments are constantly evolving. There are newer treatments and therapies coming out all the time. And, a lot of those are very, very expensive. And it often takes time for insurance companies to catch up.
Yeah.
To, evaluate those treatments, determine whether or not they're going to cover them. So, you could be in a situation where you need a life-saving treatment,
Right.
but your insurance company hasn't approved it yet or isn't willing to cover it.
So you're saying that even though there's this new amazing treatment, they might not cover it because it's so new.
Right, exactly. It takes time for them to kind of get up to speed. Another issue is specialists. If you need a specialist for your particular illness and they're out of network,
Right.
those costs can really add up.
Yeah, and then you have, of course, your deductibles and your copays
Right, exactly.
that you have to pay even if you do have coverage.
Yeah, and those can be, very substantial.
Yeah, so it's really kind of like a double whammy.
It is.
You've got this health crisis going on, and then you have to worry about the finances on top of it.
Exactly. And what really surprised me when I was, going through this research was all of the hidden costs that are associated with a critical illness.
Yeah.
Beyond just the medical bills themselves, you might have an extended recovery period where you're unable to work.
Right.
You might need home nursing care. You might need help with things like childcare.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Housekeeping, transportation.
Right.
All of those things can add up really quickly.
I mean, and the loss of income as well.
Yes, exactly.
We talked about John. He lost $27,000 in salary.
Wow.
While he was recovering from his heart attack.
Yeah, I mean, so, you already dealing with the stress of recovering from a major illness.
Right.
And then you have to worry about, how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to put food on the table? How are you going to keep a roof over your head?
Right.
And all of that just adds to the stress and the anxiety.
Absolutely. So what can we do to kind of protect ourselves against this, in case this does happen?
Well, one thing that I came across in the research was something called living benefits life insurance.
Living benefits life insurance. So how does that work?
Okay, so you know how with traditional life insurance, it pays a death benefit to your beneficiaries when you pass away?
Right.
With living benefits life insurance, it allows you to access a portion of that death benefit while you're still alive if you're diagnosed with a qualifying critical illness.
Oh, so it's like an advance
Exactly.
on your own death benefits.
Right.
Okay, so what are the qualifications?
Usually the qualifying conditions are things like cancer, heart attack, stroke, major organ failure, some neurological disorders.
Got it.
Each policy has its own specific list, so it's really important to understand the details of your coverage.
Right. Right. So it's not just like anything.
Right.
You have to make sure that the thing you're going through qualifies.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I have it and I do qualify.
Right.
How does the payout work then? What can I use it for?
So you can use it to cover those uncovered medical expenses that we talked about.
Okay.
You can use it to replace lost income.
Uh-huh.
Basically any of the costs that are associated with your illness.
So it's like a safety net.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's always a but, right?
Right.
There's
Yeah.
always a trade-off somewhere. So what's the trade-off here?
Okay, so the main trade-off is that if you do access the living benefit, it does reduce the death benefit payout to your beneficiaries.
Okay.
But, on the plus side, many policies offer this feature at no additional cost unless you actually use it.
Oh, so it's kind of like a built-in
Yeah.
extra layer of protection
Exactly. Exactly.
without necessarily having to pay more.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could see how this would be helpful for a lot of people because I remember when my grandmother got sick and the family had to rally around and try to help cover all these expenses, and it was really stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And, if you'd had something like this, it would have been so much less stressful for everybody.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really important point. A critical illness doesn't just impact the individual. It impacts their entire support network,
Yeah.
their family, their friends, everyone around them.
Right.
So yeah, having, some kind of plan in place can really make a big difference.
So it sounds like, traditional health insurance alone might not be enough.
No, it's definitely wise to consider those additional layers of protection
Right.
to prepare for those unexpected events.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap up today, just wanted to sort of leave everybody with a thought to kind of ponder.
Okay.
Knowing what we now know about these potential burdens, how does this change your perception of financial planning?
Yeah.
Would you consider something like this, living benefits, life insurance for your own plan? And what other resources might you explore
Right.
to ensure your financial security, even in the face of these unexpected health challenges? So, just some things to think about, some homework to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowledge is power.
Right.
The more informed you are about these kinds of things,
Yeah.
the better prepared you'll be. So, do your research, talk to your financial advisor.
Right.
Explore all the options.
Yeah.
And make sure you have a plan in place.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That was some really insightful stuff.
It was my pleasure.
And we will be back with another deep dive soon. So take care, everybody.
Take care. Tale had.